Hey, Purple Nation, get ready, because today we have an explosive package of news that could completely change the course of our season. Injuries are devastating the offensive line, trade rumors involving Carson Wentz, the imminent return of McCarthy, and now full attention. A tackle selected in the 7th overall pick of the 2022 draft might be heading to Minneapolis to save our offensive line that is literally collapsing. Oh, and there's more. Myles Garrett might miss Sunday's matchup in London, changes in the receivers' depth chart with Adam Thielen losing playing time, and you'll be shocked when you find out who is taking his spot on the wide receiver roster, plus a complete tactical analysis of what we need to do to destroy the Browns. But hold on to this news about this potential offensive line game changer that could turn the game around for everyone in Purple Nation. 4 weeks into the season, and we've already gone through more ups and downs than a roller coaster in Minneapolis. The offensive line is literally collapsing in front of us, and it's no exaggeration to say this is the worst quarterback protection start in franchise history. 18 sacks allowed in 4 games. 18. This isn't just a cold number on a spreadsheet. It's our quarterback running for his life on every third down. It's our offense having to abandon planned plays because there isn't even time to develop intermediate routes. And when Brian O'Neill went down with a knee injury in Dublin against the Steelers, many people thought the season was over right there. Fortunately, it was only an MCL stretch, not a complete tear. But he will still be out for an indefinite period. Ryan Kelly also got hurt in the same game. We were already playing with 3 backups on the starting line, and now we've lost 2 more. It's a situation of extreme pressure, and O'Connell knows it better than anyone. But here comes the first question everyone is asking. How long can we hold up this makeshift line? Justin Schooley will take over the right tackle position in place of O'Neill against the Browns, and look, he showed improvement in last week's game in Dublin with a 66.7 rating from Pro Football Focus, which is respectable considering he struggled badly in the first 2 weeks filling in for Christian Darrisaw. However, can Schooley contain Myles Garrett? Because even injured with an ankle issue, Garrett remains the most disruptive player in the NFL when it comes to destroying a pocket. The guy leads the Browns with 4 sacks and 8 tackles for loss in just 4 games. 19.8% pressure rate, the 6th highest in the entire league, and our line is allowing pressure on 36.5% of dropbacks, the 13th worst rate in the NFL. Do the math. This is a recipe for disaster. And speaking of Garrett, the Browns received bad news this week. The defensive end did not practice on Wednesday due to the ankle injury, and coach Kevin Stefanski said he is day-to-day for Sunday's game in London. That should be good news for us, right? Well, more or less. Garrett has a history of playing through injuries that would keep other guys at home. The man is a warrior, and even limited, he is still capable of causing havoc. If he takes the field on Sunday, even if he's not 100%, he will still be the biggest nightmare for our offensive line. Stay tuned, because we'll reveal which player on our line will have the heaviest responsibility of neutralizing Garrett if he plays. And the history of this matchup will surprise you. But while we're talking about the offensive line falling apart, there's a move behind the scenes that could change everything. Bleacher Report released a trade theory this week that left a lot of the Purple Faithful jaw-dropped. The organization knows it can't keep playing Russian roulette with quarterback protection, and with the trade deadline coming in 5 weeks, it's time to act. The name circulating in the rumors is 25 years old, was selected in the top 10 of the 2022 draft, and is currently completely off the plans of his current team. This guy has started 27 games in his career, has experience at both tackle positions, and could be acquired for a bargain, maybe even a 7th-round pick. This potential reinforcement could be exactly what we need to stabilize the line until O'Neill returns, and we'll dive deep into this possibility shortly. Now, let's talk about the purple elephant in the room, Carson Wentz. The 9-year NFL veteran stepped in as the starter after McCarthy suffered that severe ankle sprain, and the results have been, well, mixed. 1 win, 1 loss. 261.5 yards per game, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. The numbers look respectable on paper, but anyone who watched the games knows the offense has struggled to find any kind of rhythm or consistency. And now, with McCarthy approaching a return in Week 6 after the bye, trade rumors involving Wentz are heating up. Dan Graziano from ESPN listed Wentz among the top quarterbacks who could be moved before the November 4th deadline. And it makes sense because Wentz was never signed to be the long-term solution. He's the veteran insurance, the guy who prevents a rookie like Max Brosmer from being thrown into the fire unprepared. But if McCarthy is healthy and ready to return, what's the point of keeping Wentz on the roster? Look, we have to be fair to Wentz here. Much of what he's faced isn't his fault. How can we expect production from any quarterback when he's being chased on every snap? The line is allowing sacks on nearly 14% of dropbacks, the worst rate in franchise history. 14%. That means almost every time Wentz steps into the pocket, he knows there's a huge chance he'll end up on the ground before he can complete a read. The offense is near the bottom of the league in first downs, time of possession, and total plays. No continuity up front, no time to develop plays, no room for the running game to breathe. It's a perfect storm of offensive dysfunction, and Wentz is in the middle of it trying to make magic happen with a broken wand. But the reality is harsh. If Minnesota keeps falling in the standings and McCarthy returns healthy, Wentz could become expendable very quickly. The organization won't hold onto a veteran quarterback with a significant salary if he's not part of the future plans. A trade before the deadline could bring some value in return, maybe a draft pick or even a swap for a player at a position we need. And speaking of positions we need, speaking of necessary reinforcements, it's time to reveal the name that could save our offensive line. The speculation involves Evan Neal, the offensive tackle from the New York Giants, who was the 7th overall pick in the 2022 draft. Yes, you heard that right. A former top 10 pick who is completely off the Giants' plans this season. Neal hasn't played a single offensive snap in 2025, was demoted to backup guard work, and is in the final year of his rookie contract. The Giants will lose him for free in the March free agency, so why not trade now for something, even if it's a 7th-round pick? Alex K. from Bleacher Report argues that the Vikings should pull the trigger on this trade immediately. Neal is 25 years old, has starting experience at both tackle positions, and is already accustomed to the NFL's level of intensity. Of course, his career so far has been disappointing. Pro Football Focus grades don't lie. 61.2 in 2024, 39.8 in 2023, 41.8 in 2022. Those are first-round bust numbers, no doubt. But here's the thing, Kevin O'Connell has a history of turning rebuilding projects into solid contributors. If anyone can extract the potential the Giants saw in Neal when they picked him 7th overall, it's O'Connell and our coaching staff. And at the cost of a 7th-round pick, that's practically nothing. It's like buying a lottery ticket with real chances of winning. The timing couldn't be more perfect. With O'Neal out for an indefinite period, Skule taking on bigger responsibilities, and the offensive line bleeding from all directions, adding a body with starting experience could be the difference between making the playoffs or watching from home in January. Neal could step in immediately as a swing tackle, provide genuine depth to the roster, and compete for a bigger role as he adapts to the system. And if he doesn't work out? Well, we lose a 7th-round pick. How many 7th-round players actually make an impact on NFL teams? The vast majority never see the field. This is a risk absolutely worth taking. But while we're talking roster changes, let's address another situation that caught a lot of people by surprise. Adam Thielen's demotion on the receivers depth chart. The prodigal son of Detroit Lakes returned home before the season started when Jordan Addison was suspended, and there were injuries among other pass catchers. It made sense at the time to bring in a reliable veteran to support McCarthy. But now, after 4 weeks, it seems the organization has made a clear decision. Jalen Nailor is the WR3, and Thielen is moving down the hierarchy. The numbers tell the story. Nailor has 17 targets, 8 receptions, 98 yards, and 1 touchdown in 4 games. Thielen has 8 targets, 4 receptions, 37 yards, and 0 touchdowns. Nailor's average yards per reception is 12.3. Thielen's is 9.3. And look, even Xavier Scott, our RB4, who only got on the field because Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler were injured, has more impressive numbers than Thielen. 9 targets, 7 receptions, 63 yards, and 1 touchdown. When a backup running back is producing more in the passing game than your veteran receiver, something is wrong. Pro Football Focus confirms what the eyes are seeing. Nailor has a rating of 63.2, ranking 59th out of 118 receivers considered. Thielen, 54.6, 95th out of 118. And the organization responded in the only way that makes sense. They drastically cut Thielen's playing time. In the Week 4 game against Pittsburgh, Thielen played only 12 snaps. Nailor played 48. That's 4 times more playing time for the younger and more productive player. The math is simple here. The trade that brought Thielen back cost a 4th-round pick and a 5th-round pick, with the Vikings sending a conditional 5th and 7th back to Carolina. This deal isn't aging well after 1 month of the season. Maybe October will be different, but for now, it seems we gave up draft capital to bring nostalgia and little production on the field. Now, back to Sunday's matchup in London against the Browns. Despite their 1-3 record, Cleveland has the league's best defense in yards allowed. No opponent has managed to gain 300 offensive yards against them in 4 games. And even with Garrett potentially limited by his ankle injury, this defense is physical, disciplined, and relentless. If we want to leave London with a win before the Week 6 bye, we need to play our most complete offensive game of the season. And it starts with one simple thing: eliminating dumb penalties. Of the team's 37 confirmed penalties, 19 came from the offense. In the game against Pittsburgh, an ineligible man downfield penalty killed our opening drive inside the Steelers' red zone, forcing a field goal when we should have scored a touchdown. At the end of the game, on a potential game-tying drive, we took intentional grounding and then delay of game after a spike. These are avoidable penalties that cost points and kill momentum. Against a suffocating defense like the Browns, we can't afford basic execution errors. The key to winning Sunday is making Justin Jefferson dominate. He had his best game of the season last week, catching 10 of 11 targets for 126 yards. The Browns rank 4th in passing yards allowed, but 20th in EPA per pass attempt. That means they are vulnerable through the air if we exploit the right matchups. Jefferson against any Browns cornerback is our advantage, and we need to attack it relentlessly. Vikings Nation, we are at a crucial point in the season. 1-3 is not where we want it to be, but there is still time to turn this ship around. The Week 6 bye comes at the perfect time to heal injuries, integrate potential reinforcements via trade, and prepare McCarthy to take command when he's 100%. But before that, we need to win in London. We need to show that this team has heart, resilience, and the ability to execute under pressure. What do you think? Can we turn this game around against the Browns even with all this instability on the offensive line? Leave your opinion in the comments about the potential Evan Neal trade and whether you think Wentz should be moved before the deadline. Thanks for watching and see you soon.